Hello and welcome into another episode of Popcorn for Breakfast. We have a very exciting and fun episode for you today. We, of course, are going to talk about all of the latest movie and TV news in this What's Poppin' edition of our show. We're going to talk about the Loki Season 2 trailer. Could it be here, potentially, Kirk, to save Marvel in its darkest hour? We'll see. We're going to talk about the very first domino to fall in terms of movie delays in this WGA SAG-AFTRA ongoing strike. We're going to talk about the Lando Calrissian series, which had a major shakeup in a notable way with regards to writing and directing and show running. And we're going to talk about Spy Kids being back. Plus, we have to get into a giveaway. We're giving away something on this episode to one lucky winner from last week, and we are going to announce our even bigger giveaway for August. Let's get into it.
This is Popcorn for Breakfast, presented by St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Now, here are your hosts, Cam and Kirk.
Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Popcorn for Breakfast. It's Monday, July 31st, and we're here to say goodbye to the month of July, say hello to the month of August, and get into all the movie and TV news that happened over this last week. And there was a significant amount of it, Kirk. Really just kind of like wacky stuff going on.
An explosion of news, which is exciting because as we're going through the WGA SAG-AFTRA strikes, we're still getting all of this news that we can talk about for the future.
Yes.
Not to excite you for the struck companies, but in order to prepare you for when the strike is over, to celebrate those artists, those actors, the crew members, and everyone who put the pieces together, and not those evil money grungers.
Well, and there's rumors, Kirk, that they might be interested in finally coming to the table, and I'm hoping that there were a few sources. Obviously, you know how this stuff goes.
Yeah.
You got to read between the lines a little bit, but there are sources that are saying that some of the major studios may be ready to come to the table on some of this stuff, and I hope that they are, because that's what's been confusing about this the whole time is the refusal to negotiate on this. They're basically like, no, this is ridiculous. We're not coming to the table. And it's like, hold on. Let's have a conversation. And I hope that it's the Barbenheimer wave that has pushed them over the edge to say, like, this is it. We can make money in this industry still. We don't have to go penny pinching. There is an opportunity to be seized here. Let's figure out how we can work with these talented people.
Some might say there's an opportunity.
Gosh, they might. I hope not. You might, I guess. But yeah, I hope that they see the opportunity. I hope that they understand that if they don't turn this around and come to the table, they're risking. I mean, I don't want to be dramatic or hyperbolous at all, but they really are risking another COVID-sized setback for this industry when it just started coming back.
Absolutely. And that's the worst thing to see is your favorite movies or the movies that you're excited for, that you get the narrative start, that organic narrative. That is what's key. That's why the big studios pay influencers to just talk about it. That's the whole reason. It's cheaper marketing than putting up the Super Bowl ad and a constant barrage of playing this in your favorite programs, but which is not really available anymore in this new day and age. So it's very clear that this needs to be the end of it. I mean, the writer's strike for sure has been going on for over 80 days. We're probably already crossed 90, and the SAG-AFTRA coming soon.
Yeah, and I know everybody's tired of hearing about Barbenheimer by now, probably. Probably just tired of hearing that word in general because it's been so blown up. But we can't stop talking about it because the reason is that wave kept rolling this weekend. If you saw the box office numbers, only a 42-44% drop for both of those films.
Yeah.
Unheard of. I mean, and just for people who don't follow the box office stuff quickly, because I had my dad over the weekend was like, is that bad? I'm like, no, it's good. It sounds bad because it's like a lowish drop, second lowest drop on record or something like that. You don't want your money to drop week over week. So anytime you see a movie that going into its second weekend only drops 50% from last week or less, that's like very, very good. So the fact that both of those movies dropped less than 50% and we're in like the low 40s is insane. So that's clearly resonating. This is like appointment viewing. People have to get in to see these movies, and they're doing it, and they could be saving the industry.
Yes, Barbie is almost clearing $1 billion. It's past 700 million.
Unreal.
It's like teetering on 800 mil, and Oppenheimer is almost at half a bill. Sorry, I said mil. Half a bill for Oppenheimer. It's insane how rapid these are going. I hope that we get some updates midweek this coming week that tell us that they've both crossed their next thresholds, and just keep going. Like let's hit both of them at $1 billion.
Let's break records.
Because if they can do that, maybe the studio, because they're very narrow-minded, they can't see very far. They're only looking at the most recent dollars. So if they could see both of these hit $1 billion, maybe that's what will also just say, fine, just keep doing this.
Yes, that's what we need. That's what we need. We need the money to come, because money talks to these people, and we need it to just be insurmountable to where they just can't. They're like, all right, we got to figure this out because we're leaving money on the table.
And original stories too, right? So the studios have pushed, I feel like, for all of these sequels, but here we have 2 original stories, some IP behind one of them, but still
definitely
never been live action before, told like this. It's really a testament to the power of story from an original standpoint versus let's sequel everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. Not everything has to be a franchise. Not everything has to be a sequel. That's all we've seen since COVID, really, and it's getting tiring. And the audience has spoken. They've said, we want new stuff. We want something fresh. We want something new. We want to see what's going on. So that's also what we're here to provide, is the freshest, newest news stories, Kirk. We've got a ton to get to, plus our giveaway. We do have a winner of our giveaway, and we're going to be announcing our August giveaway. But we're going to save that till the end, so you have to hang around. I know, Kirk. I know.
Just let me know. Was it me?
No. Of course not. Even if you were eligible, I would rig it so that you couldn't win, Kirk. We would just have to make that happen.
How would you know? What if I have a ghost account?
You might. Maybe you did win. I don't. When you put it that way, Kirk, I don't know. But
I created 30 ghost accounts with AI.
Dang it! I should have been smarter than this. But no, we are going to give it away. Hopefully not to you. That would be really embarrassing. But we're going to do that, and we're going to announce our August giveaway, which I think will be really, really exciting. And we're going to get into all of the latest movie and TV news. There's a ton that's still going on. Some of it is SAG-AFTRA related, which is good. We want that to stay in the conversation so that it continues to move forward. But let's start first with a word from our friends at St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. We love St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings. Kirk and I are smoothie fiends. We're always hitting up the Smoothie King. They have tons of locations here in the St. Louis area if you're in our neck of the woods, including over on the east side of the river where we reside. We're technically in Illinois. You know, it's kind of like it's the New Jersey, New York thing.
It is.
That's going on. But they have locations in the city as well. So be sure to check them out wherever you are located. They are there to help you meet your nutritional needs. They're there to help you stay strong. They're there to help you just have a delicious smoothie, really. And if that's all you need that day, that's all you need. Just go get in there, get your delicious smoothie. There's so many flavors. There's all these different sizes. You can get a smoothie for everyone in the family. They have kids smoothies. They also have smoothie bowls.
Yes.
Kirk, have you heard of this?
Oh, I've had them.
Oh, man. These are great. I love the smoothie bowls because I like to say acai. It makes me feel... Is that what base you order for yours?
Yeah, that is the one I order.
Do you say it wrong?
I don't know. Acai.
Do you say
acai?
No, I think that's wrong.
I think it's wrong too, but I really would like to say.
I'd like
the peanut butter swizzle smoothie bowl with the acai.
Yeah,
base,
it sounds like it's like an onomatopoeia. It sounds like you're attacking someone.
I'm gonna surprise the drive-through person next time.
I want to know how many different pronunciations they get of it. But whether you're choosing an acai base or a pitaya base, you've got to try smoothie bowls. They're delicious. They've already sold, I think I read, they've already sold 2 million smoothie bowls. They just released them this year. People are going after them because they are delicious combinations of premium ingredients. They start with a base of acai or pitaya, which is, you can also call that dragon fruit. And they're nutrient-dense superfoods. And then you can add on to that with all of the additions you would normally put into your smoothie, and you can eat it with a spoon like you're eating your bowl of cereal in the morning. It's delicious. It's convenient. It's all of the things that make smoothies so great, just in a bowl. That's right. You've got to check out Smoothie King. If you stop by and visit our friends at St. Louis area Smoothie Kings, they're going to take incredible care of you. They're going to get you started on your Smoothie King journey if it's your first time, and you're going to leave there energized and ready to go. If you're in the city, last time we gave love to those people here in our neck of the woods. But if you're in the city, you can check them out at 4475 Forest Park Avenue in St. Louis, and that's right next to Barnes Jewish Hospital, right there near Forest Park, right in the center of it all. Be sure to stop by and visit them. Remember, Smoothie King, nurturing passion, nourishing purpose. All right, Kirk. And with that, we are going to get into our What's Poppin' movie and TV news. Yes. So alluded to it a bit. We love to talk about trailers whenever they pop up because that's what's fun. Trailers are the best. They get you hyped, you know? And we got a trailer.
I think you wanted to, I could feel you. I think you were going to say hot and bothered.
No, I wasn't. I actually wasn't.
I think you were.
Should I?
I was reading your body language.
You don't get to tell me what I was going to say. I was not.
You know, this news trailer got me all hot and bothered.
Absolutely not. It didn't. Just full disclosure.
Well, it does say that.
I want to say that for the record, actually.
It does have Tom Hiddleston. So
what it else? Does. Sophia DiMartino. It's got Owen Wilson, Ki Hui Kwan. So I mean, listen, there's a lot to get hot and bothered about if that's what trailers do for you. I don't like where we're heading, Kirk.
I'm sorry.
I'm scared. I don't like it here. I feel very unconfident. But Loki season 2, it gets you hyped up for the new season. This is, you have to forgive me because I've been kind of out of Marvel world for a little bit here. This is the first season 2 we have gotten.
Yes.
For a Marvel MCU original series on Disney Plus.
This is the first one. This is a big deal.
It is.
Because there have been a lot of stinkers in the MCU TV verse. And this is a chance to move the needle forward.
Yeah, we'll get into that. We'll get into that about the stinkers. And I think when you think about the MCU TV series and you think about stinkers versus non, you know, the things that actually stuck out, the things that were good, Loki is pretty close to the top of that list. In fact, for me, Loki is the top of that list of good MCU television content. Where does it sit for you?
It sits number 2 for me.
Okay, behind WandaVision?
WandaVision's number 1 for me.
And WandaVision's number 2 for me, so it's like those two are like, it's them, and then there's a big gap, and then there's everything else.
That's right.
Yeah. But I was relieved, Kirk, you know, just talking about this trailer. I was excited about what I saw. I was excited to see the MCU look, I don't know, good again. Mm-hmm. And I know that that's like reducing it to its most basic level, but there's a certain cinematic aesthetic that the Loki series in particular possesses. And I think some of the things that I've really disliked about some of the subsequent MCU series is that a ton of them just look cheap. Like they look like Disney Channel shows a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think that what I've liked about Loki and what I liked about WandaVision is there was a clear vision on exactly what they wanted to go out and achieve, and there was an aesthetic that went with that, and they went out and got after it. I think Loki probably is the best poster child of that, but it was good to see that aesthetic again because it's like, okay, you feel comfortable. You're like, okay, this is familiar. I really liked season 1. This looks good. What did you think of the trailer?
I thought the same thing, because when you have these properties, these giant films, you know how your money's going to get, where you're going to get your ROI directly from ticket sales, right? And then DVD sales and so on. But with the whole, the hiddenness and the evasiveness of streaming, you never know exactly how you get your dollar back, so you can't put as much money into it. However, they put a lot of money into Loki. They're putting a lot of stake in it because it moves the whole plot forward between the multiverse and all the interconnected films and TV series. So I really enjoyed seeing that look back, and it even looked more expensive. It looked like a bigger production, and there were more special effects, and there were more far and distant places, and it didn't feel like it was on a soundstage when we were outside. Like there was one episode in Loki which I kind of hate when the planet's exploding, and it didn't seem like any of that this time. Which that they have a lot of room to go out of places to visit. So this should be a home run. Should be a home run.
Yeah, and I think it's that last statement, should be a home run, is telling, because I think where we're at in the MCU, and I think many MCU fans are starting to feel this way, is there's an unsteadiness there. There's a almost a mistrust there now, because it feels like through the first 3 phases of the MCU, I think, I don't know, 95% of people who actively would call themselves MCU fans would rate the first 3 phases as favorable overall, maybe even very favorable overall. Ever since then, though, Kirk, it's been a steady deterioration of the trust of the fans, of just the overall engagement of the fans. I mean, you can see it on Twitter. There's a lack of engagement. There's a lack of interest, because a lot of these shows and frankly, the movies that have come out have not been to the same level of quality that fans have come to expect. And I think the one that is really catching my eye right now is Secret Invasion, because Secret Invasion is the first time that I can remember over the last year where MCU was in the conversation on Twitter, but in a bad way. Like, there was an overall lack of conversation, but then Secret Invasion came out and people were talking, but they were talking about how bad it was, how bad it ended up being. And I was like, so we've gone from people talking about it every week because of how good it is, to nobody talking about it, to now people are openly dogging it and trashing it on a regular basis. And that is quite the journey that we went on there.
Yeah, it's the worst journey possible. You want it to go in the exact, you want to mix it up. No conversation. No, actually. You don't want this at all.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It's just all around bad. I watched all of Secret Invasion. Have you, Cam?
No. So here's, and that's, again, that's telling too, because during the heyday of the MCU, which now I'm saying in a retrospective way, but during that, there was nobody who was more into it than me. Like, I was as into it as everybody else. I mean, sure, there could have been more super fans, but I just mean I was in it. I was reading comics. I was like digging out my old comics, trying to find different stories, buying new comics. I mean, I was in the thick of it, like coming up with fan theories, conversing with people on Reddit and Twitter and all this stuff. I loved it. It was fantastic. And now it's like, I didn't watch all of She-Hulk.
No.
I didn't watch Secret Invasion at all. And that is kind of crazy for me to hear, but I got burnt out. And I'm like, dude, if I'm getting burnt out, if I'm disengaging, then what's happening to the mainstream, like the more mainstream crowd who was where the MCU made all their money? Like, they're definitely disengaging. Yeah,
my wife Aubrey, she backed out on all of it. She has only watched WandaVision and Loki. It took a really long time to watch Loki with her, and she has not seen many of the films since as well. It really has put a damper on it, because it used to draw people in so easily.
Yes.
And the oversaturation and the reduced value of story production and overall intrigue has just dropped off entirely. So this is their chance. Every chance with them now is like, it's like a forgiveness tour. Like, do you like this? Please tell me you like it.
Yeah.
Every single time.
But that's the question, though, Kirk. And I think there's a few questions that come to mind as a result of this conversation. The first question that I have for you, and really anybody who's listening who was an MCU fan and finds themselves feeling disengaged, maybe doesn't classify themselves an MCU fan anymore, whatever, wherever you're at in your journey with that, the first question is this salvageable? Like, first of all, would you use that term of like salvageable? Because salvageable means like, if you have to salvage it, then it's close to death or dead. So what do you think? Is that a fair categorization? And is it salvageable?
Salvageable is the right term because it really is close to death. Oh man. Is it, is the MCU dead? Will it ever be what it was again? No, it will never be what it was again. Never. It will, not a chance. I think it has an opportunity for a revival, but whatever revival it is will be brief.
Yeah.
And then I think they need to sit on all of this for a long time quietly and just say the MCU will return in 3 to 5 years, something like that. Because
I know, but is that even long enough? That's the thing, is like, this is all unprecedented.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you know what's the right amount of time to let it cook? What's the right amount of time to do you hard reboot it after a certain amount of time? Do you just say, listen, this thing ran its course and it's done? I mean, what do you do?
Couple of variables in play. We have to figure out what Jonathan Majors' future is, because a lot rides on his casting and his personal woes. If he is cleared of everything and he comes back into the fold, I think you finish out everything that they've announced for the phases, but then I think they take a real hard stop and they say, look, there's going to be maybe there's even at the end of the final phase in Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, they say they have a flash forward to 5 years from that point in time, and then they have the date. It says the Avengers will return in 2030, whatever it might be.
Wow.
And then legit, like the blip we got to skip with them, but legit, if we would have to then wait out that time and have all of this build up, and then they really take the time and care, that would be the only way I feel like the revival could really surface all along the way with each property that's still yet to be released in the timeline, to be strong and be concise and not messes like Thor 4 and Ant-Man reception. Yeah.
That's drastic, though.
Drastic.
I mean, think about how far we've come, because we've had a lot of these state of the MCU conversations over the course of this podcast. Mm-hmm. Like at the end of phase 3, into phase 4, when phase 4 started to get shaky, we were like, all right, state of the MCU, what's going on? And we were both kind of like, it's going to be okay. They're kind of weathering the storm. They're scaling up. These are growing pains, blah, blah, blah. Then we had another one, I think after Quantumania, and it was like, listen, Quantumania is exciting because of the the Jonathan Majors Kang stuff that's going on, that character and what they introduced in that movie and what they provided. That was cool, but the movie, kind of a mess.
Yep.
And now it's like, okay, we're on life support here. So I guess my other question is, since we've never seen this before with the MCU, was it always going to end this way? Like, we were always talking about, this is remarkable, 27 films, pretty much universally critically loved and loved by fans, and they had this incredible run of box office wins, and it was just unprecedented, unbelievable. And was it always going to run out, or was there a path here to sustaining this in some way, or was this always going to be the way that it was going to go? I
think in this timeline, I think the fact that we went over to the MCU TV series, that variant disrupted the rhythm entirely.
Yes, you would say TV in general, bad call.
Bad call.
Yeah.
Bad call. You could have had strictly true limited series and had 3 episodes here and there of something super beginning, middle, end, in order to keep interest while the movies are being built. But it took away so much time from the creative team that it really messed it up.
And the limited series that they did, they just could never get the pacing right. Even in Loki, which is a good show, you talk about the one episode where it's it's very episodic. We're doing this one thing. It's a means to an end. It doesn't have any sort of major plot relevance. It feels very stagnant. They just could never quite calibrate it to get it right. I don't know, man. I don't know what to think of the MCU. I am excited for Loki season 2. So I guess I would interpret that as being this is their chance to revive it in some way. If this is a smash hit and they can keep the Kang thing alive, and obviously there's a lot of off the screen type of issues going on there that, have to be sorted out. If they can do it, maybe this is the exit ramp to say okay, we're going to change trajectory here. We're going to get this thing straightened out.
Yeah. I don't think you can reboot the MCU until like 30 or 40 years from now, if it dies, because so many actors are in.
It's true.
Movies.
No, it's true. It's true.
You
like to
have
the point
to-
where people forget that they were in the MCU, like
Yes.
Lawrence Fishburne. He's like, "Oh, I'd love to be in the MCU." It's like, dude, you were actually in Ant-Man and the Wasp, as a matter of fact.
Yes, Gwyneth Paltrow even forgot. And Christian Bale was like, "What in the world? What the bleep is the MCU?" when he entered
Right.
into Thor 4. Yeah, it would have to be. It's like a Harry Potter situation. You have every British actor in Harry Potter. You can't really reboot Harry Potter without the prequel. That's going to
No.
be weird. But whatever, the series. But it's going to be the same thing. But we need even more time to get past it.
This is strange times that we're living in, Kirk, and I don't know how they're going to sort it out, but I hope they do. I like superhero content when it's done well. I hate that I've been disengaged from it, but I think I've been disengaged for good reason. I plan to watch Secret Invasion. Is it actually as bad as the reviews are saying it is? Because the reviews are dreadful.
Part of people who hate on the MCU, usually DCU fans, are like, it's just a vehicle to get them to reveal a new cameo and blah, blah, blah. Well, initially, that wasn't the plan with MCU. It was we had real character building, real storytelling, and this one, I feel 100% there are about 3 things that come out of Secret Invasion that are coming next in the story of the MCU, and there are certain catalysts that move it forward in a very specific way. But we've also seen that in movies that we haven't seen characters back from, like, where is Shang-Chi? We haven't seen him since.
Oh, it's been eons. That's the thing. It's like you get introduced to a character in a movie or a show, and then it's like years, or like in terms of projects.
Yes.
Because again, like there was bigger gaps in terms of years before, but in terms of projects, it's like it's been 12 projects since we've heard anything about Shang-Chi, which had like this amazing after credits sequence that got everybody interested and stuff. Yeah.
Where's Moon Knight?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's just, it feels like there's so much time because there's been so much content in between them, and the whole thing feels so disjointed.
Yeah, but the series itself is not good. It's still somehow better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but I still don't enjoy this series.
Oh man, that's tough to hear. That's tough to hear. But let us know your thoughts on the MCU. I find this very fascinating. I've seen a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people talking about Secret Invasion specifically. So I guess all press is good press. There's people who believe that. So maybe the MCU is like, hey, at least people are talking about us now. They hate us, but they're talking about us. I don't know. Maybe there's some silver lining there, but definitely let us know your thoughts. Other things to get thoughts on, Kirk. Whenever there's a strike or some sort of battle going on or a legal case or something, you look for milestones. And the very first, I think, significant milestone to happen that affects the industry for the WGA and SAG-AFTRA strikes is that Sony has delayed a number of films directly related to the ongoing strikes, which makes them the first major studio to really delay projects, basically citing the writers and actor strikes as the reason for that. So the films that are significant to be aware of is Kraven the Hunter, which was due to come out this October 6th, 2023, has been moved to August 30th of 2024, so almost an entire year. Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is supposed to come out March 29th, 2024, has been moved to an indefinite release date. So no defined release date. Nobody knows when that's happening.
Wow.
And then this Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel, which doesn't have a title yet, was moved from December 20th of this year to March 29th of next year, taking over Beyond the Spider-Verse's slot. Okay. And all of that info coming from Boris Kitt of The Hollywood Reporter. I mean, this has got to be the first of many more to come, right, Kirk? Unless this thing gets resolved very quickly.
Yeah, obviously, the folks over at Sony are like, dude, this is going to be a long fight. And they have reorged so many things. Not worried about Kraven the Hunter. Don't really care about it.
There's a bit of relief there, if I can be honest. There's a bit of a, I hate to say that, but you know what? Take your time. We'll see it when we see it. No major hurry. You do your thing.
He's going to be, all the actors are going to be like, wait, it's 2060. I'm 74 years old.
It's going to be Morbius all over again, man.
It really will be bad. Kraven the Hunter, who cares? If it gets shelved indefinitely, that'd be great. Beyond the Spider-Verse, obviously, is the biggest name on this list that we want to persevere. But we also have heard, I don't know about you, but my TikTok feed has been filled with creative artists that drew on the film, that colored the film, of them saying, yeah, we were rushed. We were abused. We were like multiple, not just like a couple, like one-off or two people, like filled with just a chaotic, very wild experience on that. So that I wonder if that's part of the indefinite for that, because it's such a big project and they need to go back to those artists, apologize, adjust, and just do better. So
I know Amy Pascal, who is the Kevin Feige of the Sony Marvelverse.
Yeah.
She ended up commenting on some of those reports prior to the movie being released, because there was a little bit of a bad PR wave rolling out as a result of that, and was basically like, yeah, working in movies is tough. I was like, sheesh. I mean, I'm obviously generalizing her statement there, but
no, it says right here, working in movies was tough. That was exactly her quote.
But yeah, I mean, that's something that they need to figure out. There were also reports that like people, this release date was out there of March 29th, and there were people who were like Haley Steinfeld. It was like, I haven't recorded any of my lines for that movie. And it's like, well, then that's definitely not coming out when they say it's coming out. But overall, that sucks, because the first movie, like the second movie, Across the Spider-Verse, is meant to be a part one of two.
Yes.
And so usually when you do that, you film them at the same time and you release them in rapid succession. And they're just kind of not doing that. And I guess that's maybe why they tried, like they sneakily got rid of Across the Spider-Verse Part 1, because they were like, well, we don't want to like say it's a Part 1 and then make people wait 3 years for Part 2 and be like, here's Part 2.
Part 2 coming in 2027.
It is a bummer. It is a definite bummer. We know that, the second one took like 5 years to make, and they talk all about that. So if the third one is behind, it's going to be a while.
Ouch.
So that's a bummer.
And I never saw Ghostbusters Afterlife.
I actually didn't either. I thought that was really weird. I'm like, it's Jason Reitman,
right,
who I like, Paul Rudd, like Finn Wolfhard. There's a lot of good actors and writers and a good team behind that. And I like the Ghostbusters franchise. I was like, how did I never see this movie?
That needs to change.
It needs to change immediately. But I was actually kind of sickened by it. But I'm glad to hear that you didn't see it either, because I'm like, man, who am I? What am I doing if I haven't seen this movie? So
we need to do it.
We need to rectify that immediately. Last two quick things to talk about. One, Justin Simeon, who is the director of The Haunted Mansion, which we're reviewing this week, was replaced as the showrunner on the Lando Calrissian series, which is being called Lando, and interestingly was replaced by none other than Donald Glover, Lando himself from Solo, and his brother Stephen Glover, who have signed on as the showrunners. And this is all according to Above the Line, which is a Jeff Snyder publication. He used to work for Variety. He's an insider in the industry. He says that the Glovers have been attached to it for a long time, that Justin Simeon actually stepped out a while ago to focus on other like bigger directing projects that was going on. If you knock over my stuff, I'm going to murder you. Don't you dare knock it over.
I had to grab the Lando.
And you're going to mess up the autofocus with the bobblehead. It's going to be like face and eyes detected. But what's hilarious about this is that Donald Glover hadn't even been attached to this project as an actor. Do not get that out of my face. He had not been attached to the project as an actor yet. And then it's like, well, he's writing the series. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to guess that he's in it and not Billy D. Williams. Or maybe both of them are in it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Are you excited for... Basically, the news here, I guess, is that Donald Glover is returning for the Lando series and is also writing it. Is that a good thing?
It is a good thing, but I do want our boy, Alden, to come in and be... Is his name Alden? What's his name?
Oh, Alden Ehrenreich?
Alden Ehrenreich, that's what it is. I want him to come in. He needs to come in. He deserves a chance for his portrayal of Han Solo to shine.
I know.
And it doesn't have to be like a buddy cop thing, but I do want him to appear and come back into the world. That's the only way that I'm going to really appreciate this.
I would say that based on the way that Star Wars specifically has handled its business with the television shows, I would say there's a good chance of that.
That's true.
I think there's a good chance of that. I'd be, before learning that Donald Glover was returning for the show and that's the direction they're wanting to go, which I guess I sort of always assumed, but I would have been surprised that they would do that. But now that he is and that he's writing it, I feel like it's almost an inevitability at this point.
Okay, then I'm fine. Because they work so well together.
Yeah.
Their characters are foils of each other, and they're such a good team.
They're both good actors, yeah.
And if you throw one of them in without the flair, the electricity of it, then you just have the magic doesn't work the same. And that's a foul ball by Marvel. No, Star Wars. What are we talking about anymore?
Same thing. They're all Disney. It's all the mouse. Yeah, I think that would be cool, but I also, I know that I'm honestly surprised they're even bringing back Donald Glover's Lando because they have kind of ostracized the Solo project because they're just like, that was a mistake, which I wouldn't say that it necessarily is, but they view it that way because the fandom hated it and,
Listen to us right now. We were Solo fans, and we still are.
I liked it, yeah.
So, all the haters out there.
I think it's way overhated. I think it's like massively overhated. I don't think there's any question there. But I also think that was always going to be the case with it just because of the nature of the project and the nature of Star Wars fans being what they are. Mm-hmm. So, anywho. But Donald Glover's back. Him and his brother Steven are writing it. They've written things together. So, take that for what it's worth. Final project to get that away from me. I'm going to murder you. I'm going to murder you in cold blood. But now this is recorded evidence, so I'm going to have to let that sit for a while before I actually do the deed. Well played, Kirk.
You have to wait decades before you take me out.
Well played. Last bit, and I'm oddly excited about this. Spy Kids is back, Kirk. Spy Kids is back. And we got a trailer today for a Netflix movie that we knew was in the works for a while, but like Netflix does, they like release a trailer like a month before something comes out, and there's like, oh yeah, this thing is happening right now. That's what's happening with the Spy Kids reboot. It's called Spy Kids Armageddon. Totally new cast of characters involved, but Robert Rodriguez is still directing it. The music sounds similar, the aesthetic, the campiness of it all, and original Spy Kids absolutely slapped.
It did.
It was, being a kid in that era and watching Spy Kids, it was sick.
Yeah.
So I'm hyped.
It really was. I have like 4 points to run across before we wrap things. First of all, the boy, so it was played by, for Junie and Carmen, the lead kids, the lead Spy Kids. Junie was played by Daryl Sabara, who is now married to Meghan Trainor, the musical artist.
Right.
And they have just such fun content online, like wonderful. They've got a couple kids. It's adorable. Alexa Pena Vega has just been all over the map on indie films and just being a baller on the things that she carefully chooses her projects, but I'm hoping that we see one or both of them in this. You showed me the trailer for this. I forgot this was coming. I used to think, and I thought it was a terrible idea, and you played the trailer for me, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was really intrigued by how it played out. So I'm a big fan of it now. Spy Kids 1 and 2, good. Spy Kids 3 and 4, not good. Shark Boy and Lava Girl, kind of the off-brand
Shark
Spy
Boy and
Kids.
Lava Girl is tough.
Bad. And now we have this. And one of the things I always like to bring up about Spy Kids is that it has one of the best quotes in dialogue in cinematic history. Mr. Alan Cumming gets to say it in Spy Kids 2, and the quote is, "Do you think God stays in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created?" Why that is in a
Spy Kids, baby.
Spy Kids franchise movie, I have no idea, but it is one of the most thoughtful and philosophical questions I've ever heard in a film.
Yeah, they need to bring that same energy. They need to bring all that thunder with them for this reboot, and we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. It looks like, like all Spy Kids, it looks like it could be absolute trash. But there's a certain beauty to that in a way, and I love full circle moments, and in a weird way, I love that my kids still have access to all the stuff that I grew up with because we've got a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie coming out this week. My youngest kind of got into it, and it was like the first thing that he by himself was like, this is something that I like, before his brother was into it. And now we're all kind of going through like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles phase. And that's what I was into whenever I was like 5 years old.
Same.
And so it's kind of awesome to have that. And I love the idea that my kids may have a new Spy Kids franchise to like grow up with in the same way that I did. So, and
then when they get to that line in that movie, they're going to be absolutely blown away.
Like, oh,
Dad.
Unbelievable. They're going to be shook. And I can't wait. It's exactly how it should be. So, Spy Kids Armageddon, September 22nd on Netflix. You got to check it out. It's going to be must-see TV. All right. That's all we got for What's Poppin' movie and TV news, which means, Kirk, at long last, we have to get down with the giveaway. This month's giveaway, as a reminder, was the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 4K Ultra HD Combo Pack. And that prize will go to
me, Kirk Doolin. I am the winner. Thank you so much.
Will you stop ruining the moment for the winner of this, you selfish, egotistical maniac?
But I won it.
No, shut it.
Okay.
I can't even think right now. I'm just seeing red, Kirk. That's all I'm seeing.
Are there 2 copies?
No. You can buy your own copy, Kirk. But the winner of that award goes to YouTube user KL Wilson 22. So congrats, KL Wilson 22.
Yay!
If you are in the comments of this video, just drop us. First of all, send us an email to popcornforbreakfastpodcast@gmail.com, and then drop in the comments the handle of your email, not the @Gmail or @Yahoo, just the front part, so that we know to take a look out for that.
Put your address in the comment, your social security number, your password to all of your favorite places that you
blood
go.
type, yeah, all of those things.
Yeah.
No reason.
Great.
But yeah, just drop that in there and we will get this shipped off to you. It's actually not even here yet because it is so new that it hasn't even come out. So the pre-order, I think, arrives August 8th. We'll get it sent to you in short order. Thank you so much for subscribing, liking, and commenting on all the videos this week. We really appreciate it. All of you guys who entered.
Yes.
Really appreciate it. Next, August. We've got another giveaway ready to go for the month of August, Kirk. In this giveaway, because it's a longer month because we started this in the late part of July, we've got a bigger giveaway going.
Okay.
And the giveaway item is pretty sick.
Okay.
It is an Everything Everywhere All at Once Collector's Edition Ultra HD 4K combo pack. This thing is absolutely sick. It's got a disc. If you can see it on the YouTube video right now, it's got a disc that looks like a burnt everything donut from the movie. There's all kinds of goodies. There's tax filing envelopes. There are so many amazing things. This comes straight from A24 shop, and it will be yours, as well as all of the little. They send all these little things from A24 whenever you order something from them. They stick like little like stills from movies and things like that in there. And so we'll take all the cool stuff that they send you in that and we'll send it along to you. So that's the giveaway item. You cannot have it, Kirk. Go away, you troll. Please,
I will find a way.
Leave it. It's really cool. I think you guys will absolutely love it. That's an Academy Award Best Picture winner right there, and it can be yours if you do the following. It's going to be a little bit different this month. First of all, you do still have to be a subscriber, but all the month of August, any episodes that we release, if you like them or comment on them, every like and comment will count as an entry.
Oh, snap.
Into the giveaway. So it's you build your own chances. You can max out your odds by liking and commenting on everything, but you don't have to like and comment on everything to be entered. Just one like will get you one entry. So however far you want to go to win this thing, that's your choice.
Yeah. And if you're scared about like what you put on your comments, like if you have a little bit anxiety, you could always do the classic first commenter.
Yeah.
I love those people. I'm like,
no pressure.
I see you. You could say, I hope I win the contest, to like tell people that there's a contest going on to remind them, which is really acceptable.
Absolutely. It's going to be great. And yeah, you can write literally anything you want. We're just happy to have the comments, happy to have the conversation. And it helps us out a lot for getting other people to be able to find this podcast and view it. So thank you guys very, very much. And get out there and enter. We are going to give it away at the end of August. I think we're going to be recording an episode right around Labor Day, which is when we will announce the winner of that. So get in there, get entered, and be sure to subscribe while you're putting in all these entries. Okay, finally, we have our very first review blog from Stefano, our PFB contributor. He's writing for the website. He wrote a review of Past Lives, which I'm calling it, because I want to.
Okay.
The best movie of the year you haven't heard of. And I know that some people have heard of it, and that's fine. But I just mean it's not being talked about. I think at this time last year, we were talking a lot about Everything Everywhere All at Once, and it had kind of swept the nation. This is another A24 movie, another under-the-radar kind of indie film, but this one hasn't caught on to the mainstream wavelength just yet, and it's getting insane reviews. Stefano wrote about it. He's got lots of great thoughts. Go and check it out at popcorn4breakfast.com.
Yeah, I want to see that movie very badly.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't gotten its wide distribution yet to where I want to see it, and it hasn't released to digital yet, but I'm craving it.
It's coming to the High Point Theater in St. Louis August 4th, so this Friday through the 10th.
Well,
so that's an opportunity.
You've solved all my problems.
That's an opportunity to go see it. Other than that, later this week, we're going to have a review of 2 films, and we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to review one film, and Kirk's going to review a different film. So we're recording that right after this, and it's going to be me reviewing The Haunted Mansion, Disney's release from the past weekend, and Kirk reviewing Netflix's They Cloned Tyrone, starring John Boyega, Teyana Parris, and Jamie Foxx. So be sure to tune in for that. Get your likes and comments ready so you can enter the sweepstakes, and we will see you then. But first, we have to give a special thanks to our executive producer, Ryan Spriggs, as well as the band Rhetoric that created all of our original music, our title sponsor, St. Louis Area Smoothie Kings, and of course, all of you for watching this video or listening to this podcast. We thank you very, very much, and we will see you later this week.
Talk to you then.